Ash is in Hertfordshire on Talk Drive. Hello, Ash.
Hi, Jeremy. Thanks for taking my call.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Happy New Year.
You too. I am 16 years old.
Yes.
I am an A-level politics student, and I wanted to talk about masks in school.
Yes.
I think it's ridiculous because there is no evidence to prove that masks work. The health secretary, education secretary, on with Julia this morning couldn't give any concrete evidence that masks actually work. I personally can't wear a mask as it gives me serious anxiety attacks. I feel like I can't breathe through it. I'm one of the only people who doesn't wear a mask in my school. I haven't done the whole time during the pandemic, and I am the only person I know of who hasn't had COVID.
Do you believe that it should be a choice? Do you think that we should be able to make our own decisions, or do you believe that, I take your point, there are people who are unable to wear them for all sorts of reasons, you being one of them, and it's an interesting story that you actually haven't caught it. Dave is the only person I know really here who works who hasn't caught it. I wonder whether it is a case of certain people get it and certain people don't. Do you think that the majority of students will do what they're told if this is brought in, or do you think they'll ignore it?
I think the majority will listen to it because people do want to protect their family, as that's what we're told.
Yeah.
However, from my experience, a lot of people my age have now stopped listening. They don't put masks on when they go into classrooms. There's one class I'm in, and most people don't wear them. My teacher keeps enforcing it on us, but I don't think that was the law last half term.
Did you have to, Ash, speak to somebody at school and say, I'm against it, or I feel what I feel if I do it, or do you just ignore what you're told?
I didn't say anything before it came in. I went in wearing my sunflower lanyard, and no one questioned it since.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And do you think that if there are further restrictions, you'll ignore them, but will other people ignore them? Do you think they'll be enforced? That's what I want to know. How are they going to tell people that that's what... I mean, are people going to listen to a teacher? I don't know. Interesting.
I don't know either. It's a weird one. I think that because they do have authority over us in school, then we do have to listen to them to a certain extent. When you're younger, it's harder to go against what they're enforcing, especially. And because...
Do you think that... I know you said you have. You think this has, in effect, stifled your colleagues, some of your schoolmates? They've suffered from... How do you suffer from wearing a mask? Put that in layman's terms for me.
I feel like I can't breathe through it. It gives me serious anxiety attacks when I have to wear it for a long period of time. I can't imagine how younger people are feeling. Sorry.
Can I ask you a question? Because I actually genuinely, I'm really grateful for your call, and I think it's really important to get a cross section. But it's just the way I do it. I can absolutely hear that it scares you and it concerns you and it worries you. But if somebody said to you, which they can't before you all jump on back, but if we were in a different world and they said, wear one or you'll catch this and you could potentially die, would you deal with that stress or would you not be able to? Serious question.
I don't think I'd be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to deal with it for a long time. I haven't worn a mask in over a year and a half, and people, I want to get this across quickly. It's not exactly at the direct point, but there are people who have questioned my mask anxiety being an actual thing. Before they've basically they think I've been faking it and they've been talking about it behind my back, and I just think I think it's at a point where it's unfair. It's not fair at all.
Was your school or has your school offered you counselling and talked to you about this?
My previous school, because I just changed for sixth form, but my previous school, they didn't talk to me about mask anxiety per se. They have talked to me about my anxiety before, which is partly comes into it, which is really important. I think it's good that they've been talking to people about anxiety about what's going on at the moment as well. But now my current school, I've grown in confidence a lot since then because of like, I don't let them break me down.
I really admire you. I have to go, but I'll tell you this. I really admire you because you know your own brain, you know your own mind and what's concerning you, and you put it in great words. And listening to you, it's pretty obvious that you're somebody who knows their mind, and you should stick by that. And by the way, anybody who thinks it's amusing to talk behind your back about anxiety, from where I come from in the world, it tends to come back and bite them on the backside one day. You shouldn't lower yourself to that level. It's a real pleasure to speak to you, Ash, and Happy New Year. Thanks for coming on, all right?